welcome back. And on the show today, we have country musician sensation, Jeff Orson. Jeff, thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thanks for having me on, Jay. It is a total pleasure to see you almost in person.
Almost in person. This is second best. So, you got to be flexible. Got to be flexible.
In these times, we certainly have to be flexible for sure.
Before we start, I want to say I love your shirt.
Thank you very much. I got it in Chicago. I played 2 shows there. This is pre-COVID. And a guy said to me, you don't look enough like a country and Western guy. And I took it to heart. So I went to this big, huge country store. There was thousands of them in there. I bought like 4 or 5 of them. Here's one of them.
That's great. I love country. I love country stories. I love the people who play. They just seem so Zen style, very friendly, laid back, very serious about their craft, like everybody is. I know everybody is, but just something about country. And it's funny, Jeff, that I'm a rock and roll guy. In my 20s, you put on country, you might as well just shoot me, And it's funny, my neighbor was an East Coaster, right? So he was a chef too, but he says, Jay, if you come to the house, we have country on and we have old country on.
I love old country.
I went, old country? You mean with the twang? He goes, yeah, all twang, all about, George and Garth and Hank Snow, all about those guys. I'm going, okay, I kind of like that. But he broke me in. He broke me in with Shania Twain and Alan Jackson and Randy Travis.
Yeah, great.
So, anyways, enough about me. Again, thanks for being on here. I'm just a country fan. So tell us a little about your story, Jeff. Tell us a little bit about yourself for our viewers.
Yeah, sure. I used to play music, grew up in Niagara Falls. I used to play music as a kid, picked up a guitar and stuff and played a couple small bands in high school and stuff, but never really thought I'd be talking to you on the Today Show about my new song going to radio. I never ever thought that at all. But anyway, sadly, I had a bout of colon cancer in 2014. And I really turned back to music to take my mind off of what could have been a pretty bad situation. And so I picked up the guitar and started writing some music just to take my mind off of whether I was going to live or not, because it takes quite a while before you find out the end result, as you know, with many cancers. And so fortunately, I lived, and when I was in the hospital, I had my guitar. And there was a lady there who worked in the hospital, and she said, I really like your music. You should go and play. And I thought, well, that's very nice, very kind to say, but I don't think that's in the cards. But strange story. Someone said you should go to an open mic. And who was the host? Chris Partland. Okay.
Wow.
Chris was running a songwriters night in Burlington. So I went and I played him a couple songs, and then we hit it off right away. And I said, look, I really like you to work producing a song, a record. And so he said, okay, he agreed. He thought maybe I was kind of crazy. But anyways, he said, okay, sure. And we did that. And then some strange things happened. I was at a Nashville songwriters night. And I met a couple of people there, Dave Woods and Dana Shrek, and we co-wrote a song together for a song that made it onto the radio called Won't Let Me Let Go. And Dana liked it so much, she said, I want you to come to Nashville and I want you to sing the demo. So I flew to Nashville, did the demo, recorded it there at the Baird Studios, came back, and next thing we knew, it was on the radio. And so that was 3 years ago. And next song I have coming out, I think to be the 7th one that's gone out to radio. So in a nutshell, that's kind of my strange story about getting into country music at this stage in the game.
That's very inspiring. Very inspiring, Jeff. Thank you for sharing that. That must have been amazing. So let me ask you 2 questions. Obviously, we got to talk about Chris. But before we get to Chris, how long was it between you sort of put the guitar down and picked it up then again?
30 years.
Wow. And why? Why did you wait 30 years? Just
honestly, Jay, I just didn't I just I just had stopped playing music. I'd stopped listening to a lot of music, and country was. I grew up on country. My mom used to listen to WWL out of New York State. We used to listen to the Grand Ole Opry, but when I was just a little kid, I just got busy with work and whatnot, and I just really never stayed in the entertainment business. But when you get sick and you're kind of looking at perhaps the end of your life,
Yeah,
perhaps
yeah.
your priorities change, and I said to myself, you know, I'm if I get out of this, I'm never going to waste another minute of my time. And I just picked up the guitar one day, started playing, started writing little songs, you know, nothing you would ever record, and it just kind of grew from there. I think
Was
it
there
was something to take my mind off of surgery and CT scans and cancer tests and all that stuff.
Do you recall when you were in the hospital bed or in the hospital when that moment was about picking up the guitar? Like, was there something that triggered your brain or something like that? Or
No, no, you know, I'd started playing a little bit, you know, before I had surgery. I'd started maybe
okay,
3 or 4 months before, and then the guitar just kind of maybe 6 months. The guitar kind of became my friend. You know, you'd be sitting up at night, alone, you know, in the hospital or whatever, thinking, "Wow, how is this going to work out?" And you just and I just played it a lot. I just took it everywhere. I still take it everywhere with me if I'm
that's
having
great.
people over or
That's
whatever.
great insight. No, that's great insight that you're sharing because I think over these last 2 years with COVID, I think a lot of people have had to or have wanted to or have been forced to pick up a habit to try and take their mind off what's
Yep.
going on around in the world. Like for myself, I'm just like you. I just started playing guitar about 2 years ago, but I really started playing in September because I started to take lessons. So for a year and a half, I wasted just having fun, not knowing anything. So, but like you said, for me, it's now my go-to Zen sort
Sure.
of feeling. So I really appreciate that sharing. Why don't we take a quick break and then we're gonna come back and I want to talk about Chris
Sure.
and your connection with Chris.
Absolutely.
Okay, so stay tuned. On the show today, we have country musician Jeff Orson. We're talking all about his fabulous career, his attachment to our community, and how he overcome it, and lots to come. So stay tuned. You're watching the Today Show. I'm Jay Stoyan.